see this, bro. This came out a year ago. So this is Nikke in a nutshell. Let's see, a year ago. Let's see if this is lore accurate, y'all.
Anime scene has been hard at work perfecting the greatest of mankind's treasures, the waifu. And then, sometime later, we got waifus with guns, waifus but nuns. And now we have waifus with buns.
Okay. The song is a banger though.
The premise of Nikke starts off pretty simple. Robotic aliens, known as Rapture, show up out of nowhere and start taking over the world. Humans take refuge underground and create an army of cybernetic super soldiers known as Nikke. Why do they look like cute anime girls?
ニケの体は人間だった頃理想としていた形をベースに作られる。
As I was getting into the game, one of the first things I noticed about it were the assets. But
y'all degenerates, right? Gonna lie. You guys are degenerates. I don't play this game for assets. You guys do. I didn't play this game for assets. But you do. Degenerate.
as I played further into the game, as I had time to see what was beyond the waifus and jiggle physics, I started to realize there was a lot more to the game than I was going to give it credit for.
Thank you.
Let's start with the characters.
Yes, sir.
Starting out, you, the commander, are enlisted to command Nikkes. This Nikke has a big gun. This Nikke uses a sword.
Thank you guys, bro. We're not reacting to that video no more. There are so many Nikkes you could have chosen from, but like, that's it. We're not gonna react to this video no more. Yeah, I think we're good off that one, y'all. Thank you for your video though. Pocket Chalk. Yeah, we're good off that one. We're good off that one, bro. Yeah, we're definitely good off that nonsense. Bro, give it a chance. No, I'm not trying to give nothing a chance, bro. I'm not trying to give nothing a chance. I'm not trying to give nothing a chance with this character, bro. Why do y'all enjoy this character so much? Why? Like, actually try to give me a good, valid, reasonable answer. Why do you like this character so much?
This Nikke...
Whoa, what game was she playing?
This Nikke failed No Nut November. But when looking beyond the flashy animations, when looking past the cool character designs, you start to notice something. The more time you spend around these characters, the more you see how they react to the world around them. The more they start to become something beyond just an anime trope attached to a PNG. And then you have your typical tsundere waifu. Now, let's talk gameplay.
What the hell?
Nikke is the game that features shooter mechanics intertwined with real-time strategy elements, all bundled into the convenience of an idle game. In terms of content, there's almost too much to do in the game.
Now this video is a year old, right? This video is a year old. So, sure. Back then, when everyone was still new, when the game was still fresh for everyone, 1,000,000%. But this is how it goes for every game. I'm not just making like this is a Nikke problem. This is how it is for every game. Obviously, when it came out, there was a lot to do. Now, this is a year old again, but now that sounds like a stretch for anybody who's been playing for even longer than 5 months, bro. Right? For new players, that's in any game, of course, there's a lot to do. But overall, not so much.
Campaign missions, event missions, interception bosses. While this can seem daunting at first, most of the daily activities can be done idly using the auto battle feature, or you can be a sweaty nerd and manual a couple stages to try advance your progress. Now, if you're wondering, packet, should I send this game? Is it worth wailing on? The important thing to remember is, whether you're free to play or a whale, both species will eventually hit what's known as the wall.
I believe I can fly.
The wall is the point in the game where, after the first week or so of playing, you find yourself needing more materials or better team comps to progress further into the campaign. For those unfamiliar with gacha games, new characters are typically acquired from what's commonly known as a banner. It's here where you can spend your in-game currency or real money to recruit new characters.
Okay.
In Nikke's case, the rates are rather generous compared to many other gachas.
And it is,
Getting
yep.
dupes is also essential to progressing through end-game content. So
Yeah.
instead of trying to pick
maybe again, it's a year old, so I'm trying to consider like this maybe a year ago, right? Because I was playing a year ago again, but maybe back then because we barely had any DPS realistically, but now I wouldn't say you need, like, I think someone who has no dupes and just one copy of all the characters and just has gear with them and knows how to like build teams and stuff like that will be able to clear through most content. I mean, I have LV3 for characters that I've got in LV3 over time, right? I just go for characters, but when I go for the one character, obviously, like, I'm able to clear with them, right? Like I said, my Black Shadow Scarlet does more damage than everybody else on my damn team, and she has no dupes. It's just how it be. So nowadays, because obviously we have more DPS and people were actually just hitting like monster trucks, sure, back then, no, now because of now, then no, we don't need dupes for characters. But back then, we only had who? Scarlet, depending on when this video came out. Let me see. This video came out December 2022. So by then, we only had Scarlet and Haran and Alice. But Alice, people were not building up Alice like that back then, right? So you really only had Scarlet and Haran, I feel like. So, yeah, maybe. Because if you didn't have literally Scarlet, Haran, you were not beating stuff unless you actually like built up, right? You do need dupes to pass the 160 wall. Yes, you do need dupes to pass the 160 wall, but in terms of like needing dupes to like beat stuff in endgame, I don't think that's necessary. Now at least. Back then, 1,000,000%. Now it's not though. You don't need dupes now. Back then, 1,000,000%.
girls in games like Overwatch.
Oh my god.
Nice
That was
job.
insane. You sound kind of cute, babe.
And that's why I don't talk till the last minute. You can just pick them up in Nikke.
Approved. Approved. No. It's now illegal. I don't know. Excellent argument. Approved.
Bro, imagine if Drake got that outfit, bro. Y'all not.
I don't know. Excellent
What? Imagine.
argument. Approved.
When it comes to resource gathering, you could spend 30 minutes or so going through every daily activity the game has to throw at you. Or you could just be like, alright, time to get started. Okay, that looks nice. Alright, see you in 12 hours. You can invest 30 minutes farming everything, or a mere 30
True. I mean, she spent way too long on that page. I've never clicked off more fast when it comes to that page specifically, but it do be like that, chat. I've been trying to tell y'all. People just want this game to be a little freaking puppy. We haven't had this in high quality this whole time. People want this game to be like a little puppy game, cake game, bro. No, we don't want that. We want some type of difficulty, something that motivates us to play. You know, we want something that motivates us to just do the dailies every single day.
seconds and still accumulate a slight majority of the resources you'd have gotten for the day. When it comes to the main story, progression comes easy early on, but one of the few gripes I have is how much longer it takes to advance the main story in later chapters, making it a bit harder to maintain a steady pace of reading through.
Okay, to be fair, again, when she recorded this video, Nikke had a very big problem. I don't know if they fixed it by this point, because this said December 24. But back then, when Nikke first came out, if you were under power of the required power for story, I think your damage was like reduced by like 75% or something like that. Like they made it that if you were under power, your damage, even if your characters were meant to actually do damage, even if they were under power, like if you were under power, you were doing less damage. I'm pretty sure that was something, I don't know when they fixed it. I know that was something that they did fix, but they did say like that's just how it was for a while. So back then made a lot of sense. Should probably have not been reacting to this video a year later, because now it's like you're looking at how it was back then compared to how it is now. Kind of like all the changes that Nikke has gone through from when the game first came out till now. Right? That's really what we're really going to see in this video. They fixed it? Yeah, they fixed it. That was something where it was a problem, right? It was obvious that if you were, let's say the required power was 200, or not even 200, let's say the required power was 20,000 and your power level was 19,999, your power, like your damage was like cut down, right? That, I don't know the exact percentage. I think it was 75%, but your damage was cut down. But if you ended up going to past the required number, you would be able to beat it like quite easily. So literally it was to a point where if you did not have higher power back then, you were literally not going to progress unless you literally passed the required power, right? So I'm glad they fixed that, because if that was still the case till now, a lot of people would have quit. There's no question, right? A lot of people would have quit. I mean, that's just my opinion at least. But they did fix that. That was an issue back then.
This story, and is something I hope gets tweaked in the future, as the main story.
Oh, wait, what did I say?
And is something I hope gets.
Lowered the requirement. Okay, wait. Lowered the requirement power of chapter 2 and 3 of campaign. Lowered the base defense difficulty of chapter 3 to 7 in campaign. Right? Yeah. So that's just how it was if you were underpowered, though.
That's tweaked in the future, as the main story was one of the biggest draws for me. Or in other words, I like it for the plot. The plot was just a bonus. Of course, there's far more beyond the campaign for anyone as a free-to-play or whale to get invested in. Event stories, side stories, co-op events. You could spend hours upon hours reading character bond stories, or be perfectly content idly farming most of your resources as you go about your day. However you choose to play the game, there'll always be plenty to take in. From the absolute banger of an OST that gives each map and menu a unique feel,
Facts.
to the incredible writing
They were
that takes
cooking with
itself
OSTs.
seriously
They
in the
still
moments
are.
it needs to, and is able to let loose when it doesn't. Now, the game ain't perfect. It's had a few bugs, some modes can feel a bit repetitive, but for all its faults, Nikke appeals to me in a way that some of the most polished games out there couldn't.
Genshin could never. And when I say that, I mean that. Even though I do prefer Genshin's gameplay over Nikke's gameplay. But in terms of Nikke versus Genshin, in terms of just general games, Genshin could never and never will.
Art style, gameplay. It's a game with its own take on nuanced stories, driven by righteous, selfish, tragic characters, and ties them all together to make something incredible. This game can be called a lot of things, but there's one thing that can be said. Few games are perfect in the beginning, but even fewer are worth sticking around for, even when they're not.
Damn. W video? W video? What? Yeah, W video. Nah, but chat, this video, I'm glad we have a video like this, because with this video, you could really see how much of a change Nikke went through from obviously the beginning to a year and a half later. And I feel like more of the change really came from the characters, right? Not even more of like the game itself just changed. I feel like the change came from the characters that released, right? Because back then, realistically, the Nikke from back then and Nikke now, they're basically the exact same thing. The only difference is that we have solo raid, we have union raid, and even like arena. She didn't talk about arena here, but we have arena as well. And these are things that people barely even want to do. I mean, I do them. So a lot of people do them, but a lot of people don't like doing solo raid. A lot of people don't like you doing union raid, and a lot of people don't like doing arena, which is understandable, right? But when you really think about it, the only reason why Nikke is how it is today is because we got better characters that can help people out now, right? Back then, there's nothing different from the train back then and the train now besides the characters that you used to beat it. And that's the same thing for Gravedigger, same thing for Blacksmith, same thing for Modernia, same thing for Chatterbox, and same thing for all the content in the game. The only thing that's changed was the simple fact that we got characters that are actually able to beat it regardless of how your power is, right? And that's why, and I want to bring it back up, but that's why I say Vey is quite useful, because every DPS they bring, all the top tier DPSs, they're clearing content like 100k power deep, right? You could be 200,000 power, the content could be 300k power. You're gonna have the DPS to clear that easily with Red Hood, Modernia, both Scarlets, Summer and East, Ludmilla, yeah. But then you don't have the defense, and that's where characters like Vey comes in, at least for me personally. But yeah, realistically, Nikke has only gotten better because of the characters, not necessarily because of the content. Because again, nothing has really changed from the beginning of the game and now in terms of content, besides, again, the little little stuff they added, which was solo raid, union raid, and arena, right? That's just reality. But this is my little 2 cents on this topic. You guys let me know what you think. Original video will be in the comments and the description, so go check her out. It's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.